a 90-second clip. It's going to kind of set the tone for what we want to accomplish over the next 45 minutes or so, and then we'll dive into details. This year, we are seeing the dream of financial freedom being pushed further and further away from millions of people. Record business closures and massive global layoffs are pushing people's budgets to the breaking point and having a dramatic effect on their quality of life. Many people are being forced to survive on credit, paying today's bills with tomorrow's wages. This is a guaranteed path to financial disaster. Are you currently enjoying the lifestyle that you're working so hard to achieve? In contrast to these statistics, the wealthiest of our populations increase their net worth year after year, and they're able to accelerate their wealth during economic downturns. How is this possible? Financially experienced people put wealth-building principles to work for them, rather than trading their time for a wage. In the following video, we'll introduce you to two of these powerful principles and show you how you can get them working for you right away. At CFX, we believe the opportunity to create financial abundance is the right of every person. A better life can begin now. Start your journey with us today. It will be the most empowering change you've ever made. So a couple key points, comments as to the content of that video. One, it was said that we have CFX, implying, of course, the ownership group of CFX, which I'm not part. I'm an individual using the platform just as most of you are. But the ownership of CFX believes that it is the right of every person to have the opportunity to create financial freedom, financial abundance. And I think that most of us would agree with that. I think we would find some harmony with that opinion that the corporate ownership and membership of the company holds. And I think it's a wonderful thing. And you're seeing evidence, of course, of that in the growth of this platform. Not only the sheer number of people that are starting to use the platform successfully, but where those individuals are living. We're really seeing a very well-rounded representation from continents all around the planet starting to use this platform successfully. And that's critically important. But the other thing that it said at the end of that video was that wealthy, savvy individuals, wealthy, experienced individuals, or educated individuals can increase their worth when markets are turning down, and they're using financial principles to do so. We're going to talk about a couple of those principles. It's not common for a financial education to seep into secondary and post-secondary schooling for most people in most places. And so you really need to strive. You need to search for answers to some of the questions that can serve you long-term and serve the needs of your family and those that matter to you. And so getting into some of those financial principles, I think you would be very hard-pressed to find anyone who has created any real financial substance who hasn't used one or many of the principles that we're going to be talking about during the course of the presentation. Now, on the screen in front of you, two industries, significant industries with which CFX has a footprint. First and most obvious is e-learning. Of course, everything we're doing right now is in an e-learning platform, and in this case, Zoom, which, listen, if we're being completely honest with each other, Zoom probably is a brand, is a company that 36 months ago, virtually no one had heard of. And look what's happened, even in fact, 24 months. Look what's happened in the past 24 months to that company, to the share value of that company, to the exposure that company is seeing. Most importantly, also, we're learning that efficiency and effectiveness of work doesn't have to suffer because one is doing that work at home. And that's extending to school-age students as well. In fact, we're finding quite the opposite. If we were looking for a silver lining, it's that many students that are in control of their environment aren't necessarily in a classroom environment and doing their work from a Zoom environment from their laptop or tablet can actually be more proficient, more effective at their studies, which is a wonderful thing because we know obviously they're losing when they're not able to communicate with each other and be around each other socially. So at the very least, it's nice to know that they can at least be still successful in doing their schoolwork if that's all they're able to do currently. And the same thing with the workforce, people having to relocate from the office to home. In fact, some of the statistics that we're starting to see in the news today in a variety of Western countries is that as we start to see a relaxing of restrictions and hopefully people are able to return back to the workforce, most importantly, small businesses are able to open again, we're seeing larger and larger numbers of people actually say they would like to continue to work from home. And I certainly don't blame them for wanting to skip rush hour traffic and all the other challenges that go with working from home. But what's happening is that normal downtimes like commute times have been added to the workday, and so many people that are choosing to work from home are actually working longer hours than they did previously. So if you're one of those individuals that is going to work from home, you're going to have to work hard to find that balance to make sure you give yourself free time, so that you don't suffer from your decision to work at home. So that is very significant. Now, the reason it's part of the conversation this morning, of course, is that CFX actually is building their own online university, their own academy, and you'll learn more about that in just a couple of minutes. The other industry with which, of course, we have a very significant footprint is the global Forex market. Forex market is absolutely massive. In fact, you can see from this very simple graphic in front of you, comparing it to the equities and futures markets, just how immense the global Forex market is. In fact, there have been days. This, by the way, this is daily volume, daily average volume, $5.3 trillion. That's a really difficult number to wrap your head around, the size of that $5.3 trillion per day. One way I can assist, perhaps, when we take a look at some of the statistics regarding the global Forex market, is that there are about 90, maybe just a little bit under, about 90 million. 90 million, that's a very significant number. What we refer to as retail traders. So these are trading enthusiasts. Perhaps they're professionals, semi-professionals. Generally, they're working from home. They're working from their own computers. And Forex trading is a labor of love. It's a passion. It's a hobby. For some of them, it's a part-time income. 90 million people. Now imagine that's 90 million individual broker accounts with anywhere from a few hundred to thousands to tens of thousands of dollars or more in each account. And all of that money only represents about 5.5%. 5.5% of the daily traded volume. So it's central banks and the global banking ecosystems, governments, multinational corporations, funds, etc., are all involved in the global Forex market. Now, because of that size, of course, it's the largest and most liquid of the financial markets in the world. Many people also consider it to be recession proof. And certainly has been historically. Now, one of the reasons that that may be relevant for us here, of course, with 2020 being such a bizarre year and markets being turned upside down on their heads, and many people having their lunch eaten for them in a variety of those markets, including the stock market and the S&P. It is perhaps a little reassuring that you can participate in the global Forex market, even in a year as challenging as 2020 was, and still be able to have consistent wins. So this is the first opportunity. I'd like those of you who have been using this platform through the entire 2020 year, so you would have some experience. You've been using it for more than a year. If you can authenticate or verify that at the end of each trading week through 2020, you registered a profit rather than a loss, go ahead and type a 1 into the chat right now. I think that would be very valuable information for those individuals that are here as a guest or perhaps are brand new to the platform. Now, that does not mean that CFX wins every trade. It's ridiculous. And of course, I would certainly never propose such a thing. Fortunately, what it means is that they, with the tech that they're using, have been winning more than they've been losing. And so when all trades are added together at the end of a day and then ultimately at the end of a trading week, that means you see a net gain rather than a net loss. At the bottom row of bullets, there's a great deal of flexibility with risk management when it comes to Forex. You can also leverage and compound. These are two of those financial principles that we talked about earlier. Compound interest. Many of you have had opportunities to play with compound interest calculators. And if you've ever played around with daily compound interest, some of the numbers can be truly mind-blowing. That's something that we can certainly look forward to when copy trading is available to all markets all around the world. And then, of course, this is a 5-day-per-week market. So unlike cryptocurrencies that I know is taking so much of your time for many of you, staring at Coin Market Cap and World Coin Index and many other places where you can constantly check crypto prices because that market is in such a massive bull run right now. That's a 7-day-per-week market. Forex market is 5 days per week, weekends off. All right, so a little bit about the platform specifically. The purpose of the company will sound a little altruistic to you if you're looking at this for the very first time until you've had an opportunity to speak with or listen to the owners talk. It's important that you understand, first of all, The technology that CFX is using existed before the company existed. This is important. The experience and skill set that these people had in being successful in the global forex market, that existed before the company existed. So the core trading team and one of the founders that is responsible for everything trading, they have been successful for years prior to this company existing. Now that's critically important. I'll give you an example why. If I was new looking at this information for the first time, what I would not want to hear is the idea popped into someone's head to start a trading company, and then they had to start look for traders or from some sort of trading service to fulfill the trading side of the company. And so they outsourced and they went to a third party or some sort of white label product. I never would have joined. If that's what I would have heard, I never would have joined. In a world where so many things can go wrong and often do, if you don't have your trading dialed in and have years of success under your belt, and you're simply going to a third party to fulfill a need of a company because you have an idea, that's not a good enough idea, a good enough reason to start a company. So, because all those things were very much on lockdown, they were performing extremely well. The purpose of the company really was to bring an opportunity to profit in what is a very complicated and can be a very challenging market, the global forex market, but to bring using an infrastructure that was being custom built or is being and has been custom built for CFX, to be able to bring this to individuals that A, don't have the time to spend hours and hours in front of charts, and B, don't have the interest perhaps, C, just don't have the resources. And so to be able to profit in a space where there's room for you to profit, $5.3 trillion on average per day, and then simplify participation so that anybody could be successful. That was the purpose. It's a big, grand purpose. It's expensive. It takes a lot of time and a lot of expertise to fulfill a purpose and to facilitate the fulfillment of a purpose like that. The positioning, we've already alluded to that. This is going to be largely automated trade activity done through EAs. And we'll explain what those are in just a couple of minutes. Rest assured, though, what you won't see is images or videos of trading floors with dozens or perhaps even hundreds of traders working long hours during the Forex week. That's not the way CFX generates their results. It's largely done with technology software, what we refer to as an EA. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. So a little bit about the founders and the team they've surrounded themselves with. Most importantly, and as I mentioned before, Edwin and Waskar are the two founders of the company. These gentlemen I've often referred to as serial entrepreneurs because they have been very successful in a number of different areas. Edwin shared the success that he was having in the global forex market a little more than a couple of years ago with Waskar, and that was really where the penny dropped for Waskar and where they felt that perhaps they could be a partnership in designing and building something very unique. And that was the origin story of CFX. But then surrounding themselves with very capable, competent, skilled individuals is an absolute prerequisite for success. A great idea doesn't guarantee anything. Great ideas. I don't hate to sound cynical, but great ideas are a dime a dozen. We see companies with great ideas fall flat on their face all day long, every single day, and that's not going to change. If you don't surround yourself with capable people, that great idea is never going to be executed properly, and none of us are going to be able to benefit. The other thing that's very important too is because it's becoming so inexpensive to launch companies and build an online presence these days, you'll see plenty of CEOs that, well, in my opinion, have no business launching projects that they share with other people. Launch companies these days, they're well and truly underfinanced to launch what they're trying to accomplish. And if you don't have deep pockets when you're diving into something like this, you shouldn't even get started in the first place. I'll give you an example. 30 full-time programmers, their own graphics team, more than 15 full-time support staff, a tech staff, full trading team, etc. Imagine the burn rate for a project that's less than 2 years old when you have a staff like that, professional individuals. All their programmers are US or Canadian based, so they're North American price tags on those programmers. You need to have some resources behind you before you launch anything like this, especially when you get to the sharing bonuses later on. You see just how much the company is giving back to those of you who choose to share the platform and how little they're keeping for themselves. You'll realize that they need to be on very, very stable financial ground before anything like this gets launched. And then, of course, you move into corporate offices. Now, This is a facility, I will tell you right out of the gate, is more than 10,000 square feet. It is ultimately going to work in harmony, hand in hand with the Academy, that online university we talked about just a couple of minutes ago. So, first of all, you can see artist renditions. These are computer generated renditions on the right hand side of the screen. This facility was the intention of this facility to be open last year. In fact, earlier than mid last year for all of us to be able to tour. So disruption to travel, disruption to shipping, disruption to ports, threw a bit of a curveball into those plans. And ultimately, though, when this business or when this office location is completed, as per these drawings, uh, and the ribbon cutting ceremony takes place, this is going to be an open door policy for you. So this will be a place that you can visit anytime that you want to. But more importantly than that, when you learn a little bit more about the academy in just a couple of minutes, for those of you who really well and truly want to develop forex skills and master forex on your own, which will be an option in this full service forex environment, this will be a place that you'll certainly come, and this will be a place that you'll have an opportunity for one-on-one and also group training. So the other thing that I think is important to mention is that CFX was always intended to be a live events program. The owners of the company love live events. They love the opportunity to meet the members that are using the platform successfully. And so, therefore, because this is obviously Panama being in Central America, we're probably always going to be Korean, Caribbean, Caribbean destinations for events, someplace close to Panama, so that all of you, when you now let's just have them all in Korea. When you come down to live events, you'll also have an opportunity with a short stop into Panama and check out the offices for yourself. All right, so trading. Let's talk trading specifics because that's why most people are recommended and are using this platform. Take a look at the paragraph in the center of your screen on the left hand, or apologies, on the right hand side, and specifically the last sentence. Our team of professionals has extensive experience in both Forex trading and EA design and management. So it's the EA design and management that really is the backbone of their trading success. So, as I said before, nothing is farmed out to a third party, nothing is white label, everything is manufactured and owned. It's proprietary, owned by the company itself, which is critically important, I think, in any sort of consistency and long term success. There is nothing wrong with using third party EAs or third party programming teams. The problem, of course, is, and owners are going to need to accept the fact that those third parties are outside of your control. And that's the situation you've created for yourself. So that's not the case here. Uh, all of the programmers and all of the traders that designed their very first EA that they've been using since the company first launched, and they were using, by the way, successfully for months before the company was launched, was all designed by that individual team. So the ongoing maintenance at the end of every trading day, when those professionals are poring over trade data, looking at what the EA perhaps could have done to perform a little better, or maybe where it performed extraordinarily well, and constantly making micro adjustments. Critically important. It's consistency that's far more important, I think, in long term Forex trading results than hitting those home runs from time to time. Okay, so that's critical. Now, below that, you can see web TV or web indicators. This is something that's built into your back office. So this is something you access just from your smartphone. You may be meeting a friend for lunch or meeting a friend for coffee. You can pop this web TV open. Think of it like an iframe or a window right into MetaTrader. Now, what you will be looking at when you use it is MetaTrader 4, and on the top right-hand corner, a part of MetaTrader 4 to let you know if you're involved in the trade or if you're just viewing a currency pair activity that's going on is either a little happy face or a little sad face. Those of you who know MetaTrader will know exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll see that little happy face or sad face, and you'll know if CFX is actually engaged in that particular trade. You'll also notice when you log into WebTV, you'll see all the currency pairs. Typically, it's major minor pairs only. They're not getting involved in exotics for a few reasons, but generally it's the spread that they stay away from. Typically, also, if you are a trader, they avoid swap fees. You're not typically doing overnight trades. So they're all closing at the end of the trading day, and you certainly don't have live trades open over the course of the weekend either. Not that you can't make money doing that way, but more often than not, market conditions change over the weekend, and then you get your rear end handed to you come Monday morning. So that's normally the process that these guys are operating from. There's a heavy focus on using low leverage and really managing risk. They know that they're trading a lot of assets for a lot of people around the world, and so they approach things very cautiously. It's that consistency that we're looking for, as I mentioned to you before, week after week of consistent results. That is their primary importance. So, very short video. Let's talk about the Academy for a minute. So the Academy, as I mentioned before, just think of it as an online university. It's been custom built from the ground up. The first version was using Moodle, which is a great Moodle is a great platform, but they wanted to make sure they were in total control of all the curriculum and how that curriculum was ultimately revealed and shared with members. And so they've actually rebuilt that platform from the ground up. Now, in that short 30-second video, one of the things that you may have noticed was a laptop screen with a gentleman in a gray jacket. That was the format for all of the curriculum pre-COVID. So actors and actresses were flying in very much like a news broadcast sort of a format where they're looking into the screen and reading from a teleprompter all of the curriculum, and then graphics to support what they're reading are showing up on either side of above their shoulders. Because that travel got railroaded during 2020, there was a significant shift in the way that all of this is being assembled now. And so instead, our internal graphics team have taken on the task of creating visual support for all of the curriculum that ultimately will be inside the Academy, from the Elemental series to the Advanced series and the Supreme series. Now, CFX was always intended to be a full service Forex platform. So, regardless whether you're like myself and just don't have the time or the interest to developing those trading chops yourself, you simply want to allow this thing to run automated for you, and you're quite happy taking on that risk. Then you'll participate the way most members are participating now. But we know that there are some of you who'd like to be involved in the decision-making process, perhaps in a semi-automated type of a way. And of course, the curriculum is going to show you exactly how to do that. And then we also know there's a smaller, crazy group of you that actually want to take on all of the trading responsibilities yourself. You want to know everything from A to Z. And as a result, the Academy, all through the Advanced and the Supreme series, is going to give you that opportunity, coupled with what we talked about earlier, where you'll have opportunities to go to the corporate offices and be in groups. In fact, believe it or not, in that office, one of the largest meeting rooms for Forex studies will hold 150 people theater style. So we know we're planning for quite a few of you wanting to develop those skills and wanting to come and really lock down Forex mastery over your participation with CFX. So you'll be able to do exactly that. There'll also be modules, quizzes at the end of every module that unlocks the next subsequent module. So it's going to force you to participate if you choose to. Remember, if you choose to leave things fully automated, going through the curriculum is an option for you. It's something that you're not required to do. So how do we access all of that curriculum when it's all loaded into the new custom environment? Well, it is going to be ultimately done through trade packages. So what you see in front of you right now is something called the trade package ladder. There's 15 steps on this ladder, and the very first step is the 300 US. These are all US dollars in denomination. US dollar trade package, 300 US dollars, then a 500 US dollar, and 1,000, and so on. And we climb this ladder one step after the other. Now, if you take a look at the 3 lines of text next to each one of those trade package icons, you'll see Academy Pack, Trade Pool Deposit, and Leadership Program. So let's define each one of these 3 for you. And remember, there are five steps up this ladder in each one of those three series. So we showed you the elemental series, which really brings you up to speed on Forex basics, and then the advanced series. As you start to unlock all of that academy or university curriculum, it's really going to help you start to connect the dots, understanding the trading environment, understanding the indicators, how to use the indicators properly, and starting to work your way into being a successful trader. And then, of course, the Supreme series, well, that's really where you're getting into trade mastery. So the psychology of trading, the types of habits and behaviors, really disconnecting yourself from dollar amounts and not freaking yourself out when you trade. Those long-term skill sets that are critically important if you're going to be successful long-term and not just be successful sporadically. Okay, so you can see now all 15 steps up this trade package ladder leading to the highest step on the ladder, which is a $100,000 trade package. Now, you can start anywhere you want to start when you participate or when you get started with CFX. You can start at $300, you can start at $3,000, you can start at $30,000. It's entirely up to you. You do what's going to be comfortable for you. Let's define those three terms on the right hand side of each of those trade package icons. So you'll notice Academy Pack. If you take a look, for example, the $30,000 trade package in sort of the sea foamy green color, it says Academy Pack 9,000. Now, 9,000 is 30% of the trade package value. 30% of $30,000 is $9,000. So what that does is that's unlocking the curriculum to that particular point in the university, $30,000. But it also gains you access to every curriculum package previous to that. So starting at $300 and then $500 and working your way all the way up to your chosen starting position. If you got started, for example, at $500, you can see the Academy Pack is $150. That's again 30% of $500, $150. And that will gain you access to the $300 curriculum and the $500 curriculum. And as you continue to climb that trade package ladder, you're going to unlock more and more of that curriculum. The most important thing that you need to understand about this ladder is that you start wherever you're comfortable starting, and you have the option of climbing this ladder using gains through participation, and you never have to go into your pocket again. You never have to pull out a credit card. You never have to spend any more of your own money. Now, as a testimonial of this, what we'll do is we'll call on members that have been using the platform for a period of time again, just to help you as guests or new members get a sense of what's possible. So, for those of you who have been using the platform for a period of time, go ahead and let us know where you started in the trade package ladder, how long ago you started there, and where you are currently. I think that'll be very valuable to individuals that are looking at this for the first time or perhaps are quite new to the project. That'll give them a sense of what's possible in their journey as they're climbing through this trade package ladder themselves. Now, $100,000 is the last of these steps to the ladder. You cannot climb any higher than that, which would mean, of course, 70, the trade pool amount, 70%. That's the remaining balance after the curriculum was paid for. The remaining balance is being traded on your behalf in the global Forex market. So $70,000 is the maximum that's being traded on your behalf. And then the last line of text says leadership program. So if you take a look at leadership program in each of those five steps, you'll notice that the PV number, is 50% of the value of the trade package value. $30,000 is 15,000 PV in the leadership. 50,000 is 25,000 PV in the leadership program. And I'll explain to you what that means in just a couple of minutes. So that brings us to the end of the first half of this presentation, where our focus has been on the individuals behind the platform, the team they've surrounded themselves with, why they've launched this, and what exactly their intention is long term. So very much a product focus, with the technology really leading the way, whether it's the cornerstone of the company, which is the academy, or of course, all of the technology behind their trading expertise in the Forex market. So the last thing for us to do is shed a little bit of light on how one participates. Now, you have a couple of options. First, you can participate in a completely automated way and keep this as a hands off project. You may choose to do that because you're very busy. You may choose to do that just because you're vetting the project until you're comfortable. You're not going to do any sort of endorsing or recommending anything to anyone. In either one of those cases, I completely understand, and that's very common when members first get started in anything new. So let's talk about the two ways to participate. If you are going to be a passive participant and just stay hands off, you're going to focus really on accumulating what we refer to as bare capital. So Bear Capital, just consider that gains that you'll make on a daily, Monday to Friday, week by week, as the technology does exactly what it's supposed to do consistently with that trade pool. That's that 70% of the value of any trade package that you choose is going to give you an opportunity to see daily Forex gains. Now, you can earn up to two times the value of any trade package. So, for example, if you got started at $300, Bear Capital would give you the ability to earn 600. If you got started at $3,000, you could earn 6,000, and so on and so forth. If you choose, or when you're ready to, you may also recommend CFX to one other person, or of course, as many people as you choose. If you do recommend to at least or refer to at least one other person, you open yourself up to bull capital, BULL. Now, there's a number of bonuses you can see listed in that middle paragraph, and those are the bonuses that you will open yourself up to if you refer the platform to somebody else. Now, this also gives you the opportunity to earn up to an additional two times the value of that same trade package. So, for example, if you got started at a $300 trade package, instead of earning $600 in Bear Capital, you can now earn an additional $600 or a total of $1,200 in Bear and Bull Capital combined. Okay. And then the rank levels, we'll talk about that. That's at leadership program points as we wrap up in just a couple of minutes. Okay. So let's give you a 30,000-foot overview and make a little more sense of this. Now, on the left-hand side of the screen, we're using an example of a $1,000 trade package icon. That's 1,000 US dollars it costs. And remember, 70% of the value of that is going to work for you in the global Forex market. Okay, that's going to be, those gains are going to be referred to as Bear Capital. And again, you can earn two times, or of course 200% of the value of the full value of your trade package that you chose. In this case, $1,000, two times or 200% is 2 grand. Okay, below that is the Bull Capital. Now, this is the remaining 30% that went to the actual product sale. Remember, that's the online university that you're going to gain access to. In this case, of course, you'll gain the curriculum access to the $300 trade package, as well as the 500, as well as the 1,000, if 1,000 was your starting position. Okay, so that's 30% of $1,000 is $300. Now, notice here that that $300 is split two ways, but 100% of the value of the product sale is ultimately going to go to the field, go to members that are using the platform. Half of it is sent directly to you and you recommend to someone else in what's called a fast start bonus. And the other half is going to go to a team-based bonus where we'll talk a little bit more about leverage and building in a leverage-based environment and how that can dramatically affect your ability to accumulate. And again, 200% or two times the value. In this case, two times the value of $1,000 is $2,000. So you can, depending on how you participate, as a bear, make 2,000, or as a bull, 2 plus 2, a total of 4,000. Now, you have three different options depending on how you participate. Actually, I should say regardless of how you participate, because if you choose to participate as either a bear or a bull, when you've reached either a maximum of 2,000 or a maximum of 4,000, you all have those same three options. Option number one, of course, is you can withdraw your gains. You'll pay a withdrawal fee when you do, put the rest of the money in your pocket, and walk away from the platform. No problem at all. There's nothing wrong with that. Option number two, of course, is you can withdraw your gains. You can pay a withdrawal fee, and you can choose, since it was a positive first experience, if you want, you can choose to buy another $1,000 trade package and just go through the whole process again. Or you do have a third option, and that is that you can pay a withdrawal fee, and from your gains, you can take the next step up the trade package ladder. So if you don't recall what that next step was, the next step after $1,000 was $2,000. So $2,000, why would one choose to do such a thing? Because that's obviously what most members are choosing to do, judging from the testimonials that they were sharing in the chat. Well, it's simple. If 70% of the value of your trade package is being traded on your behalf, and you're trading a $2,000 trade package, that means you're trading $1,400 versus $700. So if we had a 0.5% trading day for Wednesday, and you're trading 1400 versus 700, you're going to earn a little bit more in trading gains. And this is the reason, this is the primary reason why all of our members choose to take a portion of their gains and climb incrementally up the trade package ladder. That's it. That's the reason why. So we're going to break each one of these down in a little more detail for you right now. First of all, trading. Now, it's important that I share a disclaimer when it comes to trading. Remember, trading in the Forex market or in any other market is risky, period. So make sure you're not putting capital into play that you cannot afford to lose. And that's the smartest way to manage your risk appropriately. In this particular case, the way the trading works is from Monday to Friday. You're going to see every single day winners and losers are added together. Now, at the end of a trading day, right off the top of that total, CFX will take its success fee, its operational fee for doing what it does. And this, by the way, is how it can afford to pay out 100% of the product sale. We showed you on the previous slide. Remember, $1,000 trade package, 30%, that's the university or the product. 100% that went out into two different bonuses, a fast start and a unilevel bonus. Well, they can afford to send 100% of the money to all of us to the field because it's the success fee through trading successfully that ultimately the company is generating its operational capital. Okay. All right. So first of all, in the center of the screen, you'll see up to 15% per week. What does this mean? Well, this is a trading cap. So the most money that you will make in a single trading that you have working on your behalf. And so 15% a single week. Very simple. If we get to Wednesday or Thursday and 15% cap is reached, for the balance of the week, you'll see goose eggs, 0% gain because you hit the cap. The company is going to hang on to everything past that cap. Now, that's a very high cap, 15% in a single week, but nevertheless, that's exactly what it is. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about those two bonuses that are fed to you, that are funded from the products 50% for a very simple reason. Remember, the 30% of any trade package is what's paying for this bonus and for the other. And 50% of that trade package sale is going to the fast start, and the other 50% is going to the unilevel. So another simpler way of looking at this mathematics would be half of 30%, which is 15%. So there's a 15% fast start bonus anytime that you choose to share CFX with someone else coming from that product sale. So, for example, if you shared this with me and I got involved in a $1,000 trade package, 15% of that $1,000 would go to you. That's $150. But here's where the fast start bonus gets a little bit more impressive. Every time that I choose to take a step up the trade package ladder, you're going to earn another fast start bonus. For example, when I climb from a $1,000 trade package to a $2,000 trade package, percent of dollars is to blocking section of me, and of that 30%, half of it is going to go to you in another fast start bonus. So that's another $150 for you. When I climb from $3,000 to $5,000 trade package, that $2,000 you'll earn 15% from. When I climb from $10,000 to 15, or from 20 to 30, or from 50 to 70, in every one of those cases, you'll earn an additional 15% of that new capital that gets put into play. Okay, and so the fast start bonus can become very, very powerful for you, especially considering, of course, you can share the platform with any number of people that you choose to. The unilevel is the other half of the product sale revenue. And so that money is going directly into this bonus. Now, you'll notice right out of the gate that this is, you can see levels from 1 to 10. This is a 10 level bonus. And levels 1, 2, 3, 4 are automatically unlocked the moment you get involved. You can also see that levels 1, 2, 3, 4 in silver color are all 10% levels. 10% of what? Well, it's 10% of the money that goes into this bonus anytime anyone new gets involved, or anytime an existing member takes another step up the trade package ladder. So just like the fast start bonus, this is a real recurring bonus. Your team and over again as they continue to participate at a higher and higher level, purchase more product as they unlock the entire trade package ladder. Okay, so when you hit executive, I'll explain how you do that in just a couple of minutes. You unlock levels 5 and 6. You can see each one of those levels are 20% level. When you hit manager, you unlock levels 7 and 8. When you hit director, you unlock level 9. And when you hit the president's club, you unlock level 10. So there's the 10 levels we talked about. In fact, 4 levels at 10%, 2 at 20%, and 4 more levels at 5%. Add those all together, of course, it gives you 100%. So now for every dollar that goes into this bonus, you know exactly where it's going. In addition to this, ambassador and global ambassador, those 3 last ranks unlock what's referred to as a global bonus. Now, this gives you the opportunity to earn beyond level 10, which is critically important, especially in a platform such as this, where A, it's very easy to share, and B, the growth of the platform is quite extraordinary. Many of you will see growth beyond level 10 if you choose to share this with other people. And so it's important you have an opportunity to earn from all of the activity that's starting to accumulate as the direct response to those first steps that you made. And that's what the global bonus does. So when you get to level 15, people are showing up at level 17 and 20 and 23 and beyond, you'll have the opportunity to earn a percentage of the money that's moving from that product sale into this unilevel bonus. Okay. Remember, any number of people that you choose to share this with in this bonus, they will all live on your level 1. So if you share this with 3 friends, all 3 of them are sitting side beside each other on your level 1. If you share with 10 friends, all 10 are on your level 1. You can share with 100 friends, all 100 are on your level 1. The way people become part of your level 2 is when level 1 participants choose to share this with someone else, starting to fill their level 1, which of course is your level 2. Okay? All right, last thing for us to discuss. And that last thing is something referred to as the force matrix. Now, the numbers that you see after the force matrix, 3 by 10, is simply giving you a sense of the structure of this bonus. So you'll notice 3, you only have room for 3 people on your level. Okay, so it's very different than the one we just finished talking about, where you can share with any number of friends and they're all on your level 1. Here, you only have room for 3 friends. So if, for example, if you shared CFX with 5 people, the first 3 that you share with all occupy your, it really would depend on whether level 2 automatically filled or whether there was room for them. If it filled, they would have to drop down to level 3 or wherever there was room for them in your matrix. Now, this is done for a very specific reason. It's done because the developers of the platform wanted to create a bonus that everybody could potentially profit from. I'll give you an example. All right, typically in any kind of reward structure or any home-based business or network marketing ecosystem where members are sharing with other members, the only members earning bonuses are the ones that share the platform with someone else. The founders of CFX wanted to create a blueprint where just from participating alone and never recommending the platform to anybody else, you still had an opportunity to make money from one of the bonuses. And that's exactly what this is. So by locking the number of people that can show up on any particular line of lineage, or in this case, level, you give the opportunity for friends to drop and even strangers to drop down under other people. And that's what all those gray arrows at the top of the graphic are explaining. So you will often see people drop down into your team because there's nowhere else for them to go. Now, I will tell you right now, participation is in no way a guarantee of success. This may happen to you depending on the team that you're a part of and how fast that team is building, or it may not happen to you. But there are people, of course, that have people do drop down into their matrix because they just happen to have people above them that are sponsoring more than 3, and there's only so many places for those people to go. So that's just so you get a sense that was the origin and the intention behind this bonus. Now, why do they want potentially everyone to be able to earn from it? Well, very simple. The withdrawal fee that we've been referencing in the previous overview slide This is where that withdraw fee comes from. That's what ultimately feeds this bonus. Have a look at the paragraph on the top of the left-hand side of the screen. A 20% withdraw fee for any withdraw, whether you are someone who's just benefiting from automated trading or whether you're someone who's actively sharing the platform with others, it makes no difference. Anytime you withdraw for any reason, and of course, many of you are withdrawing often. You're withdrawing weekly or even more often than that. You'll pay a 20% withdrawal fee when you do. Now, that 20% withdrawal fee, you'll learn where that goes in the second paragraph. It's divided amongst three bonuses. Half of it's going to the matrix bonus, 10% is going to a matching matrix bonus, and the remaining 40% is going to a leadership rank bonus. We'll discuss all of those things in just a moment. Most importantly, though, you see that it is not designed for the company to keep these withdrawals. This is for members sharing with members. This is not a profit center for CFX. It's a deliberate strategy to create a constant and residual income for members. So anytime as your team continues to grow, anytime they make a withdraw, you benefit. They make another withdraw, you benefit. And that's the way that this matrix is meant to work. So how ultimately do you make money from this? Well, take a look at the green numbers on the right-hand side of the graphics. 3, 3, 3, 5, 6, 10, 30, 20, 10, 10. Add all of those together, that's also 100%. So any withdrawal that's made, you know exactly where every penny that goes that enters this bonus. All right, so you'll see the numbers in the center of the graphic growing in multiples of 3 because every level 1 is level 1 for somebody. So 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, etc. It grows in multiples of 3. Okay, so let's say, for example, someone on your level 7 is doing a withdraw. Let's say we'll make it a fairly small or medium-sized withdraw, $1,000 they're withdrawing. Well, $1,000, of course, there's a 20% fee, so that's a $200 fee on the $1,000 withdraw. Now, remember, half of that fee is going to the bonus that you see on the screen now. So of the $200, $100 is going to this bonus. The person doing the withdraw for you is on your level 7. That's a 30% payout level. So the $100 from the $200 fee that's going into this bonus, you'll make $30 from that $100. That's a level 7 payout, 30%. The other $70 will be shared amongst everyone else on the other 9 levels. And that happens every time that person makes a withdraw, and it happens every time every single other person makes a withdraw as well. So this is a bonus that's not only reoccurring, but over time, as those individuals start to see larger and larger gains, whether they're earning more from their trading results as they climb the trade package ladder, or whether they're choosing to share with others and that's creating income for them, whatever the case may be, slowly over time, you will see your matrix bonus continually growing larger and larger if this is something that you're sharing with others. Okay, and like I said before, even if it's not something, by the way, I do have friends, and many of you do as well, that have dozens, perhaps even hundreds of people in their matrix that have no connection to their unilevel. In other words, they were dropped into their matrix from above. Okay, just a couple of things to wrap up. First of all, a matching bonus. Now, this is the second way that fee is dispersed. That 20% withdrawal fee is dispersed. It's a matching bonus. So, in other words, if you shared for any number of people that you shared CFX with, in addition to earning a fast start bonus when they got started and anytime they climb the trade package ladder, you're also going to earn a 10% matching bonus on anything that they're receiving from their matrix. Okay, so for example, if you share with 5 friends and they earn $300, $700, $400, $900, and $1,100 accordingly, you'd earn 10% of each of those amounts, and you would receive all of those at the same time that you're a person you share the platform with. All right, last thing for us to discuss. Now, this is also very important because for those of you who do want to unlock the entire unilevel, all the way through from level 1 to level 10. Remember, levels 1 to 4 are automatically unlocked by hitting ranks in the company. So how does one hit rank? Well, remember that very first rank that opens levels 5 and 6, that was the 2 blue columns. And those are those 20% columns. So this is one that you should want to, if you choose, to strive to reach. How do you accomplish this successfully? Well, first of all, 500 PVP. Remember the 2-to-1 point to dollar ratio when we were looking at the trade package ladder. So a 500 PVP is a $1,000 trade package. To be an executive, you need to be using a minimum of a $1,000 trade package. You need to have referred a minimum of 3 people. In other words, created 3 teams in your unilevel. And remember, they're all sitting side by side beside each other. You also, from those 3 teams, any growth down over a 30-day rolling period. This is PGV, that's personal group volume, okay? 25,000 in total group volume. So that's any activity from you, any activity, and this is, remember, this is an accumulation of PV. So each and every person that purchases a trade package, or if they renew, or if they upgrade a trade package, all of that volume is contributing to your 25,000 PGV total. 15,000 is the maximum that can come from one of those teams or one line of lineage. So the balance needs to come from all of the other teams that you have. That's it. That's what's required. So this is a 30-day rolling period. This is very important because it means the volume doesn't zero at the beginning of every month, which can be a real pain in the rear end. It can really slow people down. So the way this works instead is points accumulate, volume accumulates from day 1 to day 30. On day 31, the volume that was part of day 1 falls off. On day 32, you'll have new volume, but day 2 volume falls off. On day 33, there's new volume, but day 3 volume falls off. 30-day rolling. Okay? Simple. How do you become manager? Well, you're an expert at becoming executive because you've just done it. Helped 2 other people become executives, and by default, you'll become a manager. Help 2 people become managers, and you'll become a director. And that's how you climb this leadership program, starting from executive all the way through to global ambassador. Okay, so let's talk lastly about some of the prizes that you receive as you make those climbs. Of course, the most important thing in hitting executive is that you're supporting those around you who also have goals and want to reach those goals as well. You're also unlocking levels 5 and 6 in your unilevel, which is critically important. In addition to that, though, you'll receive a new iPad Air. That's that paper-thin iPad with the foldable or collapsible keyboard to use that to share CFX with others, or for any other reason you want to use it, or perhaps you want to take 75% of the value of that in BTC paid directly to your wallet. You can certainly do that as well. When you hit manager, the price value jumps substantially, $10,000 in value. His or her day date, stainless, and this is a great opportunity for a wonderful prize when you hit manager, or of course you can also take 75% of the value of that in BTC paid directly to you. When you hit director, $15,000 for his or her 5-star. This is actually with the companion, so probably his and her, but you could bring a buddy as well, or she could as well. $15,000 anywhere in the world, 5-star. You can also just let this sit in the bank until you're ready to travel as well. President's Club, and we just had a new President's Club member yesterday. So this is $100,000 towards anything that Porsche manufactures, but most importantly, certainly more importantly, I believe, than the prize is the fact that what you've done when you hit President's Club is you have unlocked, remember, level 11 and beyond from the global bonus. You unlock that when you hit President's Club. And so that's where your unilevel can take a significant jump through your global bonus. And then hitting ambassador. In fact, we just had a new ambassador qualify. Technically, it was probably last night or this morning in Europe. And so this is $200,000 towards anything that Ferrari manufactures, or of course they can take 75% of the value of this and in BTC as well. And then lastly, but certainly not least, global ambassador, $500,000 towards anything Lamborghini manufactures, or 75% of the value of that as well. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. Another Monday in the books. I want to thank you who have been members for a while and felt comfortable sharing some of your own personal experiences with guests who are fairly new members in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. We've seen the chat was just blowing up during the course of the presentation. So thank you for all your assistance in there as well. If you are brand new, a very special welcome to you, and simply make sure you speak with the individuals that helped you get involved in the platform so that you can decide how you want to participate and the best way forward. And if you're here as a guest, I would get back to your friend and you either let them know that what would be ideal for you is just a benefit from automated trading for now, Or if you know that you want to take advantage of all the bonuses we talked about, even though you don't have all the answers yet, let them know. And so either way, whatever's most appropriate for you is the path for you. Let them know how you want to get started so they can assist you. Thanks again. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And remember, we'll be hanging out again, same time, same link on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.